This week on Diplomatic Channel. France's National Day celebration in Lagos, memories and an award from the French president. Nigeria-Netherlands relations in focus as the Minister for Trade and Development Corporation visits Nigeria. Plus, in the season of diplomatic departures and replacements, we speak to the Netherlands ambassador and consul general to Nigeria. That's Diplomatic Channel in a wrap. I am Amarachi Ubani. Welcome to the program. Let's begin with other discussions in diplomatic circles.
The United Nations has called for all detention centers for refugees in Libya to be dismantled as they are unfit for the migrants themselves. The appeal comes just weeks after more than 50 migrants were killed in airstrikes at a center in Tajura. Many of those killed and injured were Africans who had hopes of reaching Europe by boat. The UN Refugee Agency wants the centers not only dismantled, but the detainees freed into their surrounding communities, and that it is ready to support them there. The UN has said the attack on the Tajura detention center could constitute a war crime. Violence broke out between police and protesters in Hong Kong on Sunday as activists reiterate their demands, including the resignation of the city's leader, Carrie Lam. Tens of thousands rallied in Sha Tin, a town between Hong Kong Island and the border with China, driven by anger at the government's handling of an extradition bill that has revived fears of China tightening its grip over the ex-British colony. Some protesters waved banners appealing to U.S. President Donald Trump to liberate Hong Kong and defend the Constitution. Police, equipped with riot gear, clashed with some protesters who used metal barriers and other objects to block off roads. Lam, the embattled leader of Hong Kong, has said the extradition bill is dead, but opponents say they will settle for nothing short of its form. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani says the various attempts to apply pressure on Iran over the past 14 months has led to failure. Speaking during a rally in Shirvan, North Khorasan province, President Rouhani said the inconclusive emergency meeting of the UN nuclear watchdog on Wednesday, July the 10th, showed the international community had protected the Iranian nation. Washington used a session of the Board of Governors of the International Atomic Energy Agency to accuse Iran of extortion after it inched past the deal's limit on enrichment levels over the past week, while still offering to hold talks with Tehran. Iran says it is reacting to harsh U.S. economic sanctions imposed on Tehran since U.S. President Donald Trump pulled Washington out of the nuclear deal in 2018, and says all its steps were reversible if Washington returned to the agreement. The United States and Iran are at loggerheads over Iran's nuclear program, and Washington has blamed Iranian forces for attacks on oil tankers in the Gulf region, a charge Tehran denies. French President Emmanuel Macron sat with European leaders for this year's Bastille Day military parade in Paris on Sunday. A demonstration of military technology was held prior to the start of the parade, which included ground robots and an armed person riding a flyboard. The jet-powered flying device was invented by the French inventor Francis Zapata, who was given a €1.3 million grant by France's army for its military development.
Le 14 Juillet, Bastille Day, Independence Day is all celebrated on July 14th every year in France. Here in Nigeria, the celebrations are more of a reflection of relations between France and the host country. It was attended by the ambassador, Mr. Jérôme Pasquier, the consul general, Mr. Laurent Polonceau, members of the diplomatic corps, business partners, partners in the arts, and friends of France at Eco Hotel. This year's celebration was unique, as it will be the last for Consul General Mr. Laurent Polonceau, who has been 4 years in Nigeria. And while he was feeling very emotional about it all, the ambassador had quite the surprise from President Emmanuel Macron to Mr. Polonceau for his hard work. Mr. Polonceau will be going back to France to take up a very important position in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Président de la République française et en vertu des pouvoirs qui me sont conférés, je vous fais chevalier de l'Ordre national du mérite.
Now, interestingly, something of a pattern trending in foreign missions in Nigeria. Mr. Alonso will be replaced by a female. We have only her first name, Laurence. Laurent will be replaced by Laurence. What a coincidence.
Consul General, who has made a very good job, is leaving this summer, and he will be replaced by a lady who has also great experience of consular affairs in Africa. And I think it's a very good move, and if that gives to more Nigerian women the will to be active in politics, in administration, that will be very good. I know we have already very talented women in the media, in industry, in business, but we have been a little disappointed with the result of the last election, because the number of women in parliament has decreased, and I really think it will be good for Nigeria to have a more balanced, more gender balanced political life. We are really developing our relations with Nigeria. We want really to share with Nigeria many of the big principles of the French Revolution about liberté, égalité, fraternité, and we're happy to share all those ideas with Nigerian people tonight in Lagos, and I shall do the same in Abuja tomorrow. The governor of Lagos is in Paris, one of his very first trips abroad, so I hope this will be an occasion for him to discuss many new projects. We have very ideas with French companies to work with Lagos government in many fields, like transportation, for example, and urban services. So that's very important. And at the same time, we are developing our presence here culturally with the new French Alliance, Alliance Française, in the Mike Adenuga Center, which is a wonderful building. And I hope we'll have a lot of activities there. And my foreign minister promised me to come back to Lagos this autumn to inaugurate this alliance and to have a meeting with the governor.
It has been 4 tremendous years. It just looks like it's only 2 years. So time is flying and it's so vibrant, so intense. The friendship of people and the way when they told you something, when they have to tell you something, they tell you just honestly. If you agree with people, they tell you. If you don't, they tell you, so you can always progress. And especially the sense of humor. When something is difficult, we can go over with humor in Nigeria. Well, I feel proud for all the team of the French consulate, because it's not only me who deserve this award, but all the team of the French consulate in Lagos. It's quite a different job, a very interesting one, with quite big structure and very linked to the French community overseas. Very interesting, but definitely Nigeria will miss me.